Okay, Ernie, you can go ahead. We're all set.
Okay, Joanne, thank you, and welcome everyone to the January 7th, 2026 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. I will open with the roll call. Mr. Kiokio. I think you're muted, Bob. You're still muted. I see you, and I see your lips moving.
Okay,
I know you're not
how's that? Better?
Yes, there you go.
Here.
All right, he is here. Thank you. Ms. Hofstetter.
Here.
And we, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we have no other regular members or alternates at this time. So it's Chairman Finaldi, Mr. Kiokio, and Ms. Hofstetter. We do let the record show we do have a quorum. I'll open with the Zoom introduction. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Please be aware that we may have to mute your microphone or telephone to avoid an echo or some other background noise. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions regarding how to participate in the meeting, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda per standard practice. If prior to the meeting any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, those comments will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Finally, please remember that technology glitches sometimes do occur. Please be patient if that happens. The first item on our agenda is acceptance of the minutes of December 3rd, 2025. Unless there's any discussion or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you, Helen.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kiokio. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are accepted. Let the record show that our next regular meeting will be scheduled for January 21st, 2026. Also, the previously submitted application for MSM 44 Old Ridgebury Road LLC has been withdrawn. As shown on the agenda, it was withdrawn on October 21st, 2025. If anyone was tuning in this evening to hear any testimony or anything else on that particular application, again, it has been withdrawn. MSM 44 Old Ridgebury Road LLC. We do have one new public hearing on our agenda this evening. It is BRT Sconset LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan, approval for an existing previously approved cluster development, the Ridgetop, sections 4A2B3, 4A6, in the RA40 zone, 10 Damia Drive, F09036, special exception number 589. I will read the legal notice. Notice is hereby given that the Planning Commission of the City of Danbury will hold a public hearing commencing at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026, and a web-based meeting hosted on Zoom to consider the following matter. BRT Sconset LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan approval for an existing previously approved cluster development, the Ridgetop, sections 4A2B3 and 4A6 in the RA40 zone, 10 Damia Drive, F09036, special exception number 589. A copy of this application is on file in the Planning and Zoning Office for public inspection. Parties in interest and citizens shall have the opportunity to be heard at this time. The meeting agenda will be posted will include instructions on how to access the Zoom meeting and application materials, or view the meeting in real time on YouTube. Arnold E. Finaldi Jr., Chairman, posted the City website and Town Clerk's Office December 18th, 2025. Published in the News Times on December 26th, 2025, and January 2nd, 2026, purchase order number 2026-002. Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. My name is Steve Sullivan, professional engineer with Haley Ward. Good evening and Happy New Year to everyone. Can I share my screen to bring up the plans?
Sure.
Okay, has that popped up on your end?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so this is the Ridgetop, which is a private road, Damia Drive. On the bottom of your screen here is Clapboard Ridge Road. Damia Drive exits off of Clapboard Ridge Road into a cul-de-sac. It is a private gated community. It's 14.44 acres in the RA 40 zone. There's 7 existing large single-family homes as part of the original development. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this building right here is framed but not occupied. In addition, you have a clubhouse, pool, and small parking area as part of the development. There's 2 other single-family homes that are not part of the development that have access rights to enter or pass and repass onto Damia Drive, but they're not part of the development. They're separate properties. As part of our proposal, also there's 2 existing foundations. You could see these dashed lines here. Those were built many years ago. So as part of our proposal for this amended development, we'll demolish those two foundations. And what we're looking to do is build 12 small homes, 12 smaller three-bedroom homes on a one-way looped road. There will be a total of 20 homes in the development, and 22 homes is the maximum allowed. The loop road would exit and enter off of the cul-de-sac. The road would be relatively flat, 2 to 3%. Then we have driveways to garages off of that looped road. From a grading standpoint, units 6, 8, 10, 22, and 24 have basements with walkouts. The grades allow for a walkout basement in those particular units. The other units are slab on grade with no basements or walkouts. So with any type of development, you're adding some impervious surfaces. So the stormwater management system that's proposed for this new section of the development consists of 2 underground piped gallery systems. There's one behind units right here. It's units 14 and 16. And then there's another one behind unit 6 and 8. And those systems are designed to attenuate the peak flows and slowly release out the peak flows to several level spreaders that dissipate any erosive velocities before running off over into the wooded areas that are down gradients. Also, since Damia Drive is already served by city water and sewer, we're proposing to extend that infrastructure within the loop road. So each unit would be provided obviously by a sanitary sewer lateral and a water service for domestic water. The estimated water demand for the 12 additional homes is 5,400 gallons per day. Also, we're relocating one hydrant that would be currently it's at the end of the cul-de-sac, but we have to relocate it for the loop road entrance. Erosion controls, they consist of construction entrance, perimeter silt fence, which would be on the down gradient sides of the property around the whole entire amended development. Also, as part of the EIC approval, they wanted some orange construction fence located behind units 6, 8, and 10, just for belts and suspenders. Also, construction vehicles can enter this gravel driveway off of, that would be to the, let's see here, the south side of the site. There's a right-of-way that the sewer main goes through, and it's owned by the applicant. But there's a gravel driveway that we can use for construction vehicles during construction. So we wouldn't have as many vehicles going up Damia Drive in order to build these 12 homes. From a landscaping perspective, we do show a landscape buffer between the existing cul-de-sac and the unit 17, which is the one closest to the cul-de-sac. Typically, there'll be lawns around the units. We do have a additional buffer between units 6 and 8 and the wetlands that was as requested by the Environmental Impact Commission. In general, homeowners can enhance their own individual areas in accordance with the homeowners association rules and regulations. So they could enhance their front foundation area with some plantings and shrubs if they wanted to. Also, we're expanding. There is an existing conservation easement area as part of the original development, and we're amending that. We are adding more conservation easement area than there currently is today, and that's generally in this hatched area that you see. And so that's a wooded area now, and that will remain as a wooded area. As part of the zoning regulations, we're required to provide some open space. This white hatched area is the proposed open space, which obviously part of that includes the conservation easement area. From a numbers standpoint, we're required to provide 50% of the gross area minus the pond. So that's 7.05 acres required. We're proposing 8.87 acres. And that's about 61.4% of the property as open space. I switched screens. Can you see a lighting fixture now?
Yes.
Okay, so in our submission package, there's a photometrics analysis and a lighting cut sheet. This is the proposed light. It's an ornamental style light. There's 8 lights proposed around the loop road. And we chose this light because it closely matches the existing lights along the existing Damia Drive road. On Monday, we actually submitted a traffic statement letter from Joe Balskis of VHB. It's a relatively 2.5 page short letter, 2.5 pages. Joe couldn't make it tonight, but I encourage you to read that letter, and I'll just state the conclusions and recommendations that he made at the end of his letter. The proposed 12 additional homes on Damia Drive will generate very little traffic on Clapboard Ridge Road, and as compared to the existing peak hour traffic, less than 3% of the traffic, an imperceptible amount of new traffic. There was only 1 crash reported along Clapboard Ridge Road in the vicinity of Damia Drive in the last 3 years. There is no crash pattern in this area. The proposed 12 additional homes on Damia Drive will not have an impact on the intersection of Damia Drive with Clapboard Ridge Road. The recommendation is the existing vegetation along the eastern side of Clapboard Ridge Road along the site frontage should be trimmed to remove the overgrowth and maximize the sight lines at the intersection. Something here. Also, we So again, we have received EIC approval recently. We did receive engineering department comments and we did respond to them. I think I submitted them earlier, beginning of January. So we did respond to those comments and revise the plans accordingly. And then on Monday, we received the planning department letter. So we're in the process of answering and responding and revising the plans to satisfy those comments that we received. So again, we'll need some more time to get that into the planning department. So with that, I could have Maura Juan talk about the architecture, and then we could answer any questions the commission may have.
Any questions for Mr. Sullivan at this time, committee members?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, hi. For the record, I'm Maura Newell-Wan, Principal Architect at 72 Architects in Danbury. So I'm going to share my screen. At the Ridgetop, we're proposing traditional New England style homes with gabled roofs, with traditional eaves and rake details, double hung windows and punched openings with muntins for divided lights, a mix of siding, which is horizontal and vertical siding, as well as stone accents and shingle accent siding. The goal is to coordinate and complement the existing buildings that are on site. The drawings we're sharing are showing blank massing models just so you could get a feel of the proportion of the building and the design of the roof and the massing of the facade. And we'll submit drawings with detailed drawings for proposed material options. We don't want the houses to be identical, so there'll be variety of floor plans, mirrors, different eave and rake details, colors, siding options, so that it looks like a family of buildings, but not copy paste. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Thank you, Maura.
Yep.
Mr. Sullivan, anything else?
No, I think right now we could answer any questions and the commission may have.
Question to the staff, where are we on sidewalks? I must have misplaced it. I read it somewhere. Where are we? Are we going to be sidewalks on both sides of the road at this particular cluster?
You want me to answer that, Ally, or?
No, I can answer it.
Okay.
So we're still discussing internally if the proposed pedestrian walkway area meets the intent of the regulation as outlined in section 4A6. So
Okay.
that we definitely have to come back to the commission and the applicant with.
Okay. And on that subject, Ally, we have a couple of open things here. We're not going to close this public hearing this evening. I don't think. We have the environmental analysis, I believe, your final report. What else are we waiting for on this one?
The two big ones would be the environmental analysis that needs to be submitted in order for the Department of Health and Human Services to conduct their review of the application. And there were some major items within the planning and zoning staff report, including the sidewalk piece that will need to be addressed as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Ally. Commission members, any other questions for the applicant? At this time, as I mentioned, this public hearing will not be closed this evening, but if you have any questions, feel free.
I just have one quick one, I guess. In terms of improving sight lines on Clapboard Ridge, is that something that needs, like Ally's, she has to bless that, or what is the process of a review of that to make sure it's satisfactory?
Well, the sight lines are adequate, but there's vegetation along the edge of the road, so that's a perpetual thing. Every property owner has to maintain their sight lines essentially. So I think what Joe Balskis is recommending is that they maintain any vegetated growth along that edge of the road.
Yeah, 'cause that's a busy road. The high school's right down the road, so.
Yeah, so it's a matter of just trimming down the vegetation.
Okay.
That's all.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan, whose responsibility is that?
That would be the applicant.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one quick
Please, Bob,
question.
go ahead.
Steve, you mentioned there's a dirt road I guess at the top of the loop road or near the loop road there. Where does that come out?
Right onto Clapboard Ridge Road.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank
It's a gravel road that was built when they ran the sewer line up that right away to serve Damia Drive.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, commission members? So just to sort of wrap up for tonight, we're waiting for an environmental analysis, Ally's final report, a couple of other cleanup items here and there. Again, we're going to keep this public hearing open. One last time, any other questions for the applicant, commission members? And if there are none, I'll entertain a motion to continue until our next meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to continue this to the next meeting.
All right, I'll
Thank you,
second
Bob.
that.
Thank you, Helen, for the second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This public hearing will be continued until our next meeting, which again is January 21st, 2026. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. Have a
you.
good night.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
good night. Okay, that's it for public hearings. Under continuation, we have nothing on the agenda. Under old business for discussion and possible action, we don't have anything, but we do have 4 referrals. 3 are 824s and 1 is an 83A. So we'll go right to the first one. 824 referral, December City Council agenda item number 3, renewal of lease for Danbury Duckpin Bowling Lanes, 7 East Haystown Road. Is it you, Jen, or is it Ally?
No, I'll be taking the 824 referrals tonight.
Oh, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Jennifer Eminger, Deputy Planning Director. So the first referral, as you just said, the lease renewal agreement for Duckpin Lane Bowling at 7 East Haystown Road. It's pretty self-explanatory. The renewal agreement sets forth a 5-year lease of the premises with the option to renew for an additional term of 5 years. Staff has no objection.
Question, did anyone on the commission other than me ever go to a duckpin bowling party at this location when they were a little kid?
It was a lot of fun. I'm still doing it, I think. I haven't been in a while, but
I haven't been in a very long time.
I used to use my kids as an excuse, but now I can't do that.
Excuse me. Any questions for Jen on this one? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for a positive referral.
Mr. Chairman, so moved. Oh,
Thank you,
I
Helen.
make a positive referral, subject to the approval of the Office of Corporation Counsel and any additional lease terms as deemed by the City Council.
Thank you, Helen. Bob, second.
Second, please.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go right to the second one. It's an 824 referral, December City Council agenda item number 4. Excuse me. Request for water main extension 68 Morgan Avenue, K11096. Jennifer.
Mr. Chairman, so the subject property, 68 Morgan Avenue, it's a request for a water main extension. The property is located in the IL40 zoning district. It's approximately 65,000 square feet. The water main currently exists in Morgan and terminates in front of the adjacent property. This just brings it down to their property at 68 Morgan. It also includes the installation of a fire hydrant. Staff has no objection as it's located within the proposed water service area. Recommend positive recommendation subject to development of the site per the zoning regs and standard DPW language for the water main extensions and form and content per Corporation Council.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions for Jen? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for a positive or negative referral.
Chairman, I'll make a motion for a positive referral, subject to the terms and conditions set out in the staff letter there.
Thank you, Mr. Kiokio. Motion made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Helen. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The second one gets a positive referral. And this third one is an 824 referral, December City Council agenda item number 12, request for condemnation of utility easement within Lombardy Street. which is I had to look up Lombardi Street. I didn't know where that was. It's a full confession from your chairman. All yours, Jen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For those who did not look it up, Lombardi Street is off of Merrimack Street. So City Council received this request from Attorney Tom Beecher, which explains why Tom is on the meeting tonight. He is the agent for the property owner 1875 Development LLC. And the developer owns one lot on Lombardi Street and then 5 lots on Short Street. Short Street is a paper street and Lombardi Street is a private road. The properties total approximately 46,000 square feet and they're located in the R3 zoning district. The owner of these properties wishes to construct multifamily units. To accomplish that, they must install, and this is per the engineering department guidelines, they must install the required utilities, which includes water down Lombardi Street, and then sewer is actually going to be extended from Short Street, and that's not the issue here tonight. It's the water main extension. So, as you know, any installation of water or sewer requires that those mains be turned over to the city as well as the easement turned over to the city. So the legal right to install those utilities and grant the easements must be clearly established. And usually it's one property owner and they install the main and then they're turning the easements over to the city. In this case, Lombardi Street's private and Attorney Beecher, I believe, has done all of the research, can find the owner, and I believe that it's been tracked back to the original developer from 1929 of Belmont Terrace. So with
Did you say 1929?
Yes.
That's even before I was the chairman of this commission, you know. That's way back there.
Way back. So again, Lombardi Street's private. And it will remain so. It's not being turned over to the city. Since the ownership is not clear and based on the advice from Corporation Counsel, the condemnation has to happen through eminent domain proceedings. So that's necessary to secure those rights that then, again, ultimately get turned back over to the city. So the condemnation will happen to ensure that the city has the rights to go in, to ensure that the developer has the right to install that main, because it will be within the city easement and not private property. But after the installation is complete, the main and that easement area will already be the city's through that condemnation. So hopefully that's clear. I've been with the city 23 years. I've never had a referral like this. So it's complicated. And I see Tom smiling. It happened once before I started with the city, on Concord Street, I believe. So there was precedent. So they went back and said, we did it here. So we're following those same proceedings. So staff has no objection. Again, this is being worked out with the attorneys, as well as Public Works and the engineering department. All final, final plans and documents should be approved as to form and content by Corporation Counsel prior to any recording on the land records. Any questions? I know I went through that fast.
I say.
No, I don't ever remember seeing one like this before. But I mean, Jen, I guess what it boils down to is, in order to convey the rights to the city, this condemnation really is the only way to go. I mean, I don't see any other alternative, right?
Correct. And again, this is based off of conversations with Attorney Beecher as well as the Office of the Corporation Counsel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Helen.
Okay, I know exactly, I agree with Arnie's assessment there, and of course your description says it too. So this is kind of one we have to do maybe, but I can't help but just ask, it says the private road itself it seems to go back to the original developer. I mean, are there any other problems we have with this, like the taxes being paid or, anything like that? I mean,
No, I mean, again, we're only taking the area that we need for the easement. Generally, and again, that's still being worked out with the engineering department and the attorneys, is the actual width and location of that easement. And again, that's still being negotiated. So once that's taken, we're not going to own the land. We're just securing the easement and the rights to install those utilities.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to make the point that we don't know who this person is that owns this private road. It's just kind of strange. So, all right, I get it. I just wanted to bring that up.
So this is eminent domain. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get into a definition, but it's okay. It's just the authority to do this, okay? And we're not going to get any objection from the owner because we don't know who the owner is.
That's
All right. Any questions, Bob? Anything?
No.
Okay, hearing none, unless there's any other questions for Jen, I'll entertain a motion for a positive or a negative referral on this 824.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a
Yes, Helen.
referral based on the requirements and approvals specified in the referral here.
Thank you, Helen. Motion made for
Second.
positive. Second
Second.
by Mr. Kyokyo. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This final 824 gets a positive referral from planning. Okay, the last referral is an 83A referral, petition of Salem Plaza LLC to amend sections 5A2, 5A5, and 11B3 of the zoning regulations, zoning commission public hearing scheduled for January 27th, 2026. Will that go back to you, Jen?
No, Waleed's going to take this.
Oh, all you, Waleed.
Good evening and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good evening.
I'll just share my screen with you. Give me a minute here. Can you see this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, good evening again, everyone. We received an application for zoning amendment, and I'm going to start by explaining very quickly what the intent is. After that, I will give you some context about what we did last year. After that, I'm going to go one point at a time to explain the provisions that are being proposed by the applicant. So very quickly, the zoning amendment that we received is about allowing limited self-storage in an existing warehouse that is zone CG20. CG20 is General Commercial District in the city of Danbury. Very quick background, when we talk about self-storage, what usually comes to mind is what you see here on the screen, or what used to be the case, which is what we call dive-up self-storage units, the one that you actually dive to, and it's not one building. As a reminder, we in the city had a zoning amendment that was initiated by staff last year, if you recall, and according to the zoning amendment that was approved, self-storage, when I say self-storage, I'm talking about conventional self-storage, is allowed as a special exception in industrial zones and in the CA, which is arterial commercial zone, only in existing self-storage buildings. What we have now is a little bit different. We have a proposal or a petition to amend some sections of the CG20. Again, CG20 is General Commercial District. 2 provisions in that district and 1 provision in the Zoning Board of Appeals section to make it clear that if this is approved, nobody can apply for a variance in the future. And again, going back over the intent, it is to allow up to a maximum of 15% of the floor area of an existing, and please remember that we are talking about existing structure to be used for self-storage. I have a screenshot of the copy of the proposed amendments as submitted by the applicant, but I have a simple version that I will explain. One thing to point out, there was a mistake here in the application. It's a minor one. What is shown as permitted uses, it should be special exceptions. I'm actually highlighting it here. So I'm going to simplify the language of the application. So what the applicant is talking about, and let me point out, there have been a discussion between staff and the applicant over the last year. And these conditions that are shown is the result of a lot of collaboration between the applicant and the staff. So what we're talking about, if this is to be approved, there will be, I would call, safeguards or conditions. Number one, this can only happen if the lot has a minimum of 5 acres in size. Number two, it has to be, the self-storage component has to be in an existing building that was legally used as a warehouse. Number three, the total area used cannot exceed 15% of the total floor area in the building, or if we have more than one building on the site. Access can only be from an arterial street. Number five, the lot must be immediately adjacent to either IL40 or IG80 zone, which are our industrial zones. One very important component is the self-storage piece will not be visible from outside because it has to be inside at a minimum 240 feet away from the entrance. And the most important one, which this one came from staff, in the future, assuming that the application will be approved, no variance can be applied for any of the provisions that are mentioned above.
Waleed, if I could just jump in with
Sure.
a question, if you could go back to the previous slide.
This one?
Yeah, I recall when we, the one with the 5 or 6 conditions, right? That way. yeah.
Seven conditions.
When we approved, or when we actually had a referral on the text amendment for the Crown Plaza Hotel, you know, when they converted that to apartments,
Right.
we amended the regulations, and the newly amended regs were subject to a list of conditions, you know, similar to this, in terms of lot area, etc. And we sort of did an inventory at the time of all of the, I believe is the Crown Plaza Hotel in IL40, or is it, I can't remember what it's in.
I believe it was CA80.
CA80, okay. So we did an inventory of CA80 properties, and it was determined that there was 2 in the city that would apply to the conditions that we did in the CA80. One was the Crown Plaza Hotel, which is being converted to apartments. The other, I think, was the Hilton Garden Inn across the street, which I don't think they're converting. But we knew when we made that amendment that there was really only 2 pieces of land in the city that could possibly be affected by that amendment. Do we have any idea how many pieces of CG20 land in our city comply with these 7, or for example, a minimum of 5 acres? Do we know how many CG20 pieces of land are 5 or more acres in Danbury? I'm trying to get my arms around the magnitude of the change.
So this is a very localized and I would say surgical amendment. The analysis I did, this would apply to only one site.
Okay, so this would be the only, the applicant, I guess the applicant's piece would be the only one in Danbury that conforms with these 7 conditions, 5 acres, et cetera, et cetera. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, please proceed.
I will just finish up and then I will go back so that to give you my view from a planning standpoint. Usually when we look at any application, we look at the POCD. This is a very, as you mentioned, Arnie, this is very localized. It wouldn't apply as a general policy. So really to find the connection between the POCD policies and what we are doing is very difficult to do because, as you pointed out, it's very, very specific. However, that being said, it's my job to remind you that on the one hand, last year, we knew that we have a huge inventory of self-storage. And there was a huge push that came from different stakeholders to make it very specific in industrial zones. On the other hand, also I have to mention that what we're talking about is not actually a standalone self-storage business. I'm not using any legal language, but the way I see it, it's more like a mixed use, because you still will keep other uses and only maximum of 15% will be self-storage. So I just want to point out the two sides of the equation, if I may say, and I would like now to open the floor for discussion.
I don't know that well, let me go backwards.
Okay.
Self-storage buildings are specialty buildings that are designed and built specifically for self-storage.
Usually, yeah.
I have a little bit of experience because I moved 3 times in the last couple of years. I did have some stuff in self-storage, and I think I have a pretty good idea of the sort of ebb and flow of cars and trucks in and out of a self-storage facility. Again, I don't think I've seen a building that was built for one use that was converted or retrofitted to have limited self-storage. Does this exist anywhere in Danbury that you know of?
I don't know if in Danbury, but I have seen it elsewhere. Usually what happens is, as you know, and again, our job is land use. It's not about finance or economy, but I'm going to point out what I know. Usually, depending on the orientation and the setup of a lot, some lots are really deep and become very difficult when you build it to find people who are interested to lease or rent the areas in the back. So what happens, those guys look at different, I would say, innovative ideas. What can they do? How to use it? My understanding is that the owners have been trying for over a year and a half now to find some people who might be interested in a portion of an existing building. It didn't work out, and I believe this might be their last resort. And from the get-go, from last year, even though as I mentioned before, we collaborated with the applicant and the attorney hired by the applicant. So I have to share with you what happened. A lot of the conditions came from the planning department. However, the understanding was we wouldn't be able to 100% stand behind it for the reasons I mentioned before, but we wouldn't stand against it. So our position is outline all the considerations and leave it up to you to decide. We would be okay either or, because this, if you approve it, it wouldn't affect other lots in the city. If you don't approve it, you will be consistent with the policy from last year to kind of limit the inventory or the expansion of self-storage. As you know, the issue with self-storage for a city as a whole is it doesn't hire a lot of people. It's not a good fit in commercial area. Commercial areas, you would like more interaction.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it just seems counterintuitive that we would change the regs just a few months ago out of a concern of an overabundance of self-storage, and then a short time thereafter change the regs to allow more self-storage, albeit in a different zone. Again, you always have to be concerned with unintended consequences. Now, you said yourself that this only affects one piece of land in the entire city, but again, philosophically, a text amendment to the zoning regulations is a general policy. It's a general rule that will affect the entire city. And this application appears to be of localized concern on one particular piece of land in Danbury. Did I say that right?
I share the same view, Ani, and full transparency, that's exactly what I mentioned to the applicant last year. And I told them that it will look to be exactly what you said. Counterintuitive. You actually just do a change and then you go again to allow something that you didn't want to see last year.
Yeah.
So, however, the applicant said that he didn't have many options and he would like still to pursue whatever he can now. But
Okay,
again, a
Okay.
challenge. It's a big challenge. I can tell you that I didn't know what to do with the application when it came in because I'm looking at the two sides.
Okay. And then just one last comment, and no response needed, that I know that they said, well, it's the 15% limitation and it's variance proof. You can't come in for a variance, but they could conceivably come in for another text amendment to the zoning regs. They could do that.
You're absolutely right. Yes, it can happen.
Okay. All right. Those are my observations. Commission members, any other questions for Waleed?
Well, I was going to go into things like, like, so you have 15% in this particular building, which we shouldn't be even talking about, but just a thought is like, well, is this storage area on the third floor or, like, are the elevators, you have what, to me, it just opens up a whole can of worms because it's retrofitting something that maybe shouldn't be retrofitted, but that's besides the point. I am very concerned that we just recently made this a no-go for CG20, and now we're turning it around, in one particular case. That's, I just don't feel comfortable with that. So those are my comments.
Yeah, and Helen, to continue your point, yeah, it's kind of weird to have this discussion because I'm trying to foresee unintended consequences on other buildings, maybe on Federal Road that are in CG20, maybe they're 5 acres, but there's not another building that fits this 7 condition sort of box.
Yep.
So a regular old CG20, I'd have concerns if, let's say a strip shopping center, whatever the case may be, you have a Starbucks and you have a whatever, and suddenly there's 15% of it set aside for self-storage. Now, I mean, there are trucks that back up to self-storage and moving heavy things in and out. I mean, were these buildings, intended for that type of use? I just don't know. So, I don't know.
Tony, if I may add something, I know it's a challenge. I had the same challenge when I was looking at it, and I'm still torn between the two options.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, if I just may add one more comment. I mean, there's so many opportunities for businesses to start up now. I think our economy is improving and all that stuff. And I thought of like one other application for this space, maybe. Of course, I don't know what it looks like, but they're coming out with these, what do they call these, where co-op kind of
Well-
things where people start new businesses, and also that's a much cleaner business, and I don't know whether that fits in CG20 offhand, but it sounds like it would. But there's so many other opportunities that I just think this is trying to, put a square peg in a round hole, that's all. So
Yeah,
that's-
no, good point, Helen. Anything, Bob? Anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I guess I understand both sides as well. This property is on West Street. Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah, give me a second here. I don't know if you can see the map or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Salem
it's this one.
Plaza is the sign out front.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So it's that long building, right? That goes.
Yeah.
Social Security building.
Yeah, Social Security building. Okay, got it. Yep.
It has offices as well. It has different uses as we speak now.
Yep. So I just trying to think as well. I know there's a bunch of properties on Federal Road there. I mean, I guess somebody could acquire one of their adjoining properties, right? And then it could become 5 acres. And so then it could apply to that property, I suppose, down the line if someone wanted to do that. So I guess there's ways where this could be more prevalent than just this one site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right, Bob. I'm only talking about what I see now. I don't
Yeah.
know the future. Things
Yeah.
can change in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's one thing that we always need to consider when we're looking to approve something is not only what we have in front of us today, but the unintended consequences, and what could happen that no one really sees right at the moment.
So I'm not advocating for it, guys, because I mentioned very clearly my position. Another way that you can look at it if you want to say, hey, can we add more conditions that it will be more specific and highly unlikely that it will affect a different lot? That's another option for you.
Yeah, I don't favor that approach. We have 6 conditions here, or 7 rather. And adding more makes it even more specific to one piece. It's just not, I'm just not sure this is good zoning.
I was just throwing this idea for you guys, but if you don't feel comfortable with the application as it is, I too am actually torn in between, as I mentioned.
Okay, I mean, I can't make the motion as chairman, but I think at this point anyway, I think I would be in favor of a negative recommendation. And the most significant reason is that the city recently took action out of concern for an abundance of self-storage facilities to reduce them. And this application runs counter to something which we just did not too long ago. So I think it would send kind of a mixed message from a zoning point of view. And the other is, should zoning consider a text amendment, which I guess using Waleed's terms are a general approval that affects the entire city for just one specific piece of land, one specific location, a text amendment that affects one piece of land in Danvers. So those are my feelings, but I'll defer to my commission. Anybody else?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I could try to put that into a motion if that's okay, if there's no other discussion.
Anything about?
One thing
Yeah.
to add, what you said is exactly what I said last year. So it's the same.
Okay.
When I looked at the application, when I first was actually contacted by the owners.
Yeah, and all right, let me just leave it at that. I've said what I want to say. And commission members, if you'd like to add anything or make a motion, a positive or negative referral, I'm ready.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll make a negative referral on this, petition. And it's due to the reversing of aspects of the recent change in zoning that concerns the CG20 district about self-storage, and that it's not consistent with the a plan for conservation and development.
And how about that it appears to affect only one piece of land in the city? Did you want to
Yeah,
get that in?
I didn't want to say, yeah, okay, say that then too.
Okay,
I didn't want to get into that spot zoning thing.
okay.
But,
Yeah, and you meant CA80. The recent changes, Helen,
Oh,
to
CJ
restrict
20.
were CA80 changes, not CG20. I think you just said it by accident.
Okay.
We'll-
Oh,
we'll
yes,
shoot-
I see it then. I'm sorry.
Yes, okay, we'll clean that up in the minutes, no problem. All right, a motion has been made for a negative referral for the reasons stated by Ms. Hofstetter. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kiokio. Any further discussion? Okay, so again, this is a referral, so a yes is a yes for a negative referral. A no is a vote for not a negative referral. You guys remember this whole routine. So all in favor of the negative referral, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that makes it simple. This one gets a negative referral for the reasons stated. Thank you, everybody. All right, looking at our agenda, you'll see one item under new business. It's a revised floodplain for Danbury Mall. The correspondence, there's the meeting schedule for 2026. Please, everybody, keep an eye on your calendar. There's really not too much nothing under other matters, and some stuff for reference only. And that's about it. Jen, Ali, Waleed, anything? We're good?
So
All
one
right.
comment, Chairman. Next week in the zoning commission, we are going to have our lawyers talk to the zoning commissioners. Would you like to have something similar for the planning commission at some point?
Like an educational seminar?
Yeah, workshop, yeah.
Yeah, I think those are good, Waleed. Those are always helpful. It's a good refresher. Now, granted, we don't have any members.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
So,
Yeah,
but I
maybe we
think
should wait till we do. That would be,
So let's
Maybe
wait
that's
till we
an
got some
incentive.
members. I think me and Bob and Helen have been around a long time. We're a bit, but yeah, when I see these two new people, yeah, let's absolutely do that when the new people come on board. Absolutely.
Okay. We'll work on that. Okay.
thank you. Thank you. for
Thank
that.
you, Waleed. If there's nothing else, commission members, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
Second.
Bob. Helen, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thank
good evening.
you.
Thank
Have
you.
a
Good night.
Have a good
Good night.
year.
You too.
Yeah, please.